I guess. I hope I do good because God has the key to the life control cabinet. And I really don't want a fire to start. But if it should, we would put it out with water. And water, of course, is the basis of our life here on earth. It makes up 70% of our bodies. It covers about 75% of the planet. And without it, we just simply wouldn't be able to exist. We're looking at going to the moon. We're looking at going to other planets. We're sending exploratory spacecraft there to see if there is water so we can go there. We use water, obviously, for everything and every day. Drinking, bathing, cooling, mixing, diluting. We just simply wouldn't be able to get along without it. And right here in Brown County, think about the economic impact of water. Dwayne and Sandy own a car wash. How sore would your arms be if you couldn't use water? If you had to hand rev all those cars, it'd be a lot of work for a few quarters, wouldn't it? Ernie, Niall, you guys farm. Think back to July 31st last summer. We got 1.5 inches or 2 inches of rain, and we didn't get any more for the month of August, driest August on record. The kids and I were out here at the fair. We had pigs and sheep there, and it rained and rained and rained all day long. We were cold, we were shivering, and it rained so much that all the ditches filled up. And Maxwell and the rest of the kids, Marcus and even the Gallagher kids, they were catching frogs the rest of the day. Made little terrariums and feed things that we used for the hogs, all because of water. So water, without it, obviously we wouldn't be able to get very far. The economic impact for Brown County with that rain we had, Ernie, would you say we went from 150 bushel corn to 250 bushel corn? Would that be out of the realm of, 30 bushel beans to 50 bushel beans because of one dose of water? But water, it can also be a bad thing. In 2005, we had Hurricane Katrina, washed ashore in New Orleans. You guys all remember the pictures on the news of people, their whole neighborhood was flooded, and the only place they could go was onto the roofs. They had helicopters cherry-picking people off the roofs. 1993, I didn't live around here, but we saw on the news up and down the Mississippi River. 95, I think they sandbagged the Illinois River pretty heavy. 2008, they had a levee break too. Too much water. Water can give, and water can take away.
Sure can.
Which, we think we get a handle on Mother Nature and the world. We build a house here, we build a bridge there, and what's God do to remind us and keep us in check? You got a nice beach house out here on the Cape. If he doesn't like that, what's he do? He sends a wave. No more beach house. Just something to think about. Like I said, water giveth, water taketh away, which is a lot like God. They always say, the good Lord giveth, the good Lord taketh away. Anything he wants you to have, he will give you. What he doesn't want you to have, he's going to take it away from you. It's probably why water is a big focus in the Bible. It started with the Great Flood. It never talks about rain in the Bible until the flood. It's just kind of hazy, I think, probably. You had to have something to make plants grow, but it never talks about rain until the Great Flood. Well, then what's God do? He baptized the whole earth, washed it clean with the Great Flood, and just left Noah and all the pairs of animals for us. And that's, where our origins are from. He gave Aaron and Moses the power to turn the Nile River to blood. He also parted the Red Sea for the Jews to escape from Egypt. More water. Kind of interesting. Jesus, he even was pretty good into water. He turned water into wine. He walked on water. He had Peter throw his net into an empty sea and pulled out a net full of fish. Did it on the other side too. All still more water. water it flows through us, through our blood, through our body chemistry. It flows around us, the humidity in the air. We just can't escape it. And it comes in many forms, obviously. Liquid, which we drink and wash with. It can be foggy, it can be hazy, it can be icy, it could be snowy. Wish it was snowy today instead of last week. I wouldn't have to deal with that. You know, I had the option of picking which Sunday I want to pick, and I chose this one. Shows how smart I am. Well, that's true.
That's right.
But, you know, like I said, water comes in many forms, but so does God. God is everywhere He wants to be, everywhere you want to be. It's even where you don't think He shouldn't, or wouldn't necessarily see you. God is everywhere. And we all know that. That's why we're here. But what we need to do is let other people know that. Jesus, through His baptism, when He emerged, we just heard Jeff read, the heavens opened up and a dove descended on Him like a hand of God, or hand of God descended on Him like a dove. That signed me up for that. You know, to be able to go to heaven and see what Jesus saw on that, I'm in. I'm reminded of a story that some of you may clue into where this came from. I'm not going to tell you because, you know, it's not plagiarism unless you admit to it. But there's these three friends, Pete, Delmer, and Evan. And they're all bound together by their sins that they've committed in the past. And they embark on this journey. And their goal is fortune and glory, as many people's goal in life is. But they're always hounded by the sins and crimes they've committed. Pete and Delmer, they robbed and stole from people. And Everett, he was practicing, I think, being a doctor without actually being a doctor. Something that people take offense to. So they're on this journey, going down this path, and they're all the time hiding out. They'll sleep in barns, they'll sleep in ditches, they'll sleep in the woods. All the time, every step they take, they're doing a check six. Fighter pilots always call check six. That's where you cover your tail, make sure nobody's behind you. So they're going down through this journey, and they've stopped to eat dinner one day, and they're sitting in the woods, munching on a meager little meal that they've scrounged up. And all of a sudden, there's a mass of people just moving through the woods and going down the hill towards this creek. And you know it's a creek and not a creek because it was deep enough to swim in, and the creek's not deep enough to drown a dog. So they thought, well, where are all these people going? They just kind of got up and moseyed on down there. And they found a fellow down there baptizing this whole group of people. Old Delmer, he clued in. He remembered where he came from, where he had been raised, and remembered Sunday school. And he thought, I need to get in this water and get baptized. So he runs right out in the middle of the water, looks at the fella, holds his nose, he's dunked, comes up, and the look of relief on his face is evident to his two friends. It's like the whole trouble of the world has just been taken away. He knew right then and there that eternity was going to be good. The burden of eternity had been removed. Well, Pete, he followed right in and jumped right in, and same thing. He comes out, all his sins have been washed away. They knew that whatever debt they owed the state, they could get through, because in the eyes of God, since Jeff told us in the reading, God does not discriminate or judge. He loves everyone. They would be ascended into heaven. And their personal nations would be free of sin. However, he didn't follow suit just as quick. We'll tell that story down the road later. But for now, that's where they were. All right, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this, but anyway, just like Jesus, when he emerged, had seen heaven, seen the hand of God come down. These two, they were now ready to go on that path. As everybody in here, I'm sure, is baptized when they were a child. That's one step we've taken, but we need to push that forward, not push it, but explain that to people that haven't ever had that opportunity. So that's what I would like everyone to do if they get an opportunity. But anyway, back to the water. The old water. Everybody drinks it every day. Water and air and food and shelter are the basics of our life, of our existence. That's the 4 basic things you need. We are all blessed to live in America, where we all have a home. We're probably not going to be very hungry because we all have access to food. And I've certainly spewed out enough air today. You guys are kind enough not to get up and leave anyway. But water's the key to it. Water, it's here for washing, it's here for quenching, which is what God is here for, God and His Word. If we didn't have God, if we didn't have it, we wouldn't belong to the world. Now I want you to think, and some of you are older, and some of us are younger, but think about the changes in the world in your lifetime. And I'm not talking about cell phones and computers and satellites and things like that. I'm thinking about the way people are. When Judy, when you were a little girl, I'm sure most of your friends went to church.
Yeah.
Now, most of my kids' friends don't go to church. The people have forgotten what church is, have forgotten what God is. Charlie Daniels, who is a country singer, says in one of his songs, he thinks what's wrong with the world today is people have gone and put their Bible away. They're living by the law of the jungle, not the law of the land. I think that is very, very true. People are living by the urban jungle. Me, me, me. What's in it for me? Where the law of the land, everybody is working as a greater good, which is what God wants us to do, for everybody to love one another. We have TV preachers, which take them or leave them, but when they say salvation is just a good check away, I have a problem with that. You have people who don't even know what God is, or Jesus. They have no clue. They haven't been experienced with it. We need to try to share the word that God has given us. And I'll finish up on this. Hopefully that's not been too long. But when Jesus came to John the Baptist, he told John, he says, what you're doing is right and good. And I think what we as a congregation are doing is right and good. And I think that we need to try to keep up our good will. Amen.
You did a very good job. Very good job.